There are ponies in My Little Pony that you may be ignoring, while many others get undeserved attention. In this video, I will reveal 6 underrated characters that will surprise you and 6 overrated characters that are disappointing. Come with me. Hey beautiful people, I'm Julie, and our first underrated character is none other than Princess Cadance. In my Alicorn ranking video, I placed Cadance in a very low position, and seeing the comments, I realized that I misplaced her. I mean, she led an empire all by herself, managed to protect it from King Sombra alone for such a long time, and still had Flurry Heart. She might as well be as strong as Twilight or even Celestia, but Cadance can be anything but weak. And that made me realize how much the G4 fandom underestimated this princess. A well-forgotten villain, even by the fans and the producers, is King Sombra. I dare to say that he is in the top 5 of the best villains from G4. Dude, he enslaved the crystal ponies. Can you picture this properly? I mean, the pony that got the closest to do this was Starlight Glimmer, that obligated ponies to give up their cutie marks. And another thing, the producers barely made him appear in the series. Sombra was defeated twice in the most stupid ways possible. They could have given him a little bit of a spotlight in the series as they did in the comics, which even tell how he got evil and such. Well, what a waste. Zecora for some reason was forgotten along the series, and it seems that not even the fans remember her to question the reason for her disappearing. Like in season 5, Zecora appears a little bit, but after that she is completely forgotten. Then she comes back at season 8, but just a quick glimpse of her, really. And dude, if you knew how many fans ask Hasbro to make an episode just about Zecora, or just telling a little bit more about zebras. And the first changeling to make friends and realize that he didn't need to feed on love but from love was Thorax. I remember that a lot of people at the time simply hated the fact that changelings are good now, with the exception of Chrysalis, of course. I also disliked the change at first but soon forgot about it. And do you know why? Because the new changelings and even Thorax himself barely appears in the series. It would be wonderful to have seen their routines or even how ponies would behave around them. I know that these creatures had their own territory, but it would be still nice to see all the ponies that always fear the changelings now befriending them and learning more about these creatures. And if you also think that would be a good idea, leave a like in this video, it helps me so much, okay? Let's hop to the next one. Flash Sentry. It is a complicated subject because while on one side the fans simply hate him, on the other one we have people who really like this character, me included. My guy always treated Twilight and the others really nice since the first appearance in Equestria Girls. The only time that Flash Sentry was a douche was when he was under the influence of the Dazzling, so it doesn't count. Not to mention that we never see him as a protagonist on the series. In the pony world, he just does some appearance for the fan services purposes, you know? I mean, he was one of Cadance's royal guards, just like Shining Armor. What's the matter in him being a more recurrent character in the series? Well, to be honest, I think Hasbro feared people throwing even more hate at Flash Sentry, just like in Equestria Girls. A thing I liked about Moon Dancer was the concept that she was Twilight if she never met Friendship Magic, nor the main 6. I thought it was really cool to see how Twilight would turn out if she remained as a regular pony. And what would change in the series, you know? Then, when we met her at the Amending Fences back in season 5, Twilight compromises to visit her and her other friends in Canterlot Moor. And guess what? Nothing. The pony is forgotten as a wallflower bush in Equestria Girls because she is quoted in season 1, episode 1, and we don't even realize. Oh, but that's because we didn't even know her back in the day. Fair enough. But even rewatching the first episode, we don't even notice that she is sighted. It would have been amazing to follow Moon Dancer in her friendship path and how she behaves after the change. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that she didn't even make to the last episode of the show. And here things start to get hot, because I'll talk about the most overrated characters from my perspective. I need to say that in last position is Maud Pie, Pinkie Pie's sister. I mean, she's quite funny and interesting character, and she steals the scene without barely talking or smiling. But what I don't get is what fans made over Maud. Like, they worshipped her like she's the best pony of all the time. But why? I simply don't get it. But really, if you guys also love this pony, please explain to me what's so great about Maud. I'm not being ironic, I really want to know what fans see in her. Something that I understood about Daybreaker is that she is like what Starlight fears in Celestia. She rebelling against her sister just like Luna did when she became Nightmare Moon. Even because this villain appears precisely in Starlight's dream. So far so good. The issue begins when fans start to kiss Daybreaker's ass, always placing her as someone stronger than Nightmare Moon, when this villain had like 5 minutes an episode. I found this fan thing with the character really exaggerated. What about you? Do you really think that Daybreaker is stronger than Nightmare Moon? I doubt it. Did you think that Twilight Sparkle was going to be in first place? Oh, if you knew what's coming, you won't believe it. Anyway, she obviously made into the list by being the most nerfed character from main 6. And not just because she was a protagonist of G4, but mainly because of her magic studies and such. She's the one that always knows about everything and solves every complicated magical matter. Of course that, in the first seasons, Twilight was kind of forgotten, but after she became the Princess of Friendship, everything resolved around her, and there's those who like her and those who hate her. But the fact is that the fans always put Twilight in a pedestal, sometimes without need to. It was infuriating to see the way that she treated inferior or less intelligent ponies, and everyone thought that was cool. Please. A random pony that ended up a fan favorite is Derpy. But differently than Maud Pie, this one I kinda get it. I think that most of you guys know, but Derpy was a regular background character, as you can see in the screen. But because of an animation glitch, the character ended up being cross-eyed, like that. And there you have it, the fans loved her. And it wasn't just a little. The name Derpy represents the silliness, the fandom simply adores the character, and wants to squeeze her because of her cuteness. Not to mention that the fandom did a headcanon of her being autistic, which made more people identify with the character and feel embraced. And to make Derpy even more popular and overrated, legend says that Hasbro did Derpy in every and each episode of G4, like an Easter egg for the fans to find out, just like the Mickey heads in Disney or Pixar's movies. But tell me, do you guys like Derpy, or is this just a fan love and overreaction? That Rainbow Dash is a really silly and funny pony we already know, right? No wonder she is so beloved by the fandom and even became an LGBTQ symbol among the fans because of her mane. But the amount of edits, fan arts, fanfics, and even creepypastas about her isn't on the books. Do you remember that video called My Little Dash? Dude, that was insane. Everyone wanted a pet Dash to take care. I never loved nor hated her, just think that she's cool. I confess that sometimes Dash is an ass with the Wonderbolts thing, or even with the big ego of hers. I think that this egocentric personality of hers kinda increased her popularity so much. Fans love these kind of characters. What if I said that the most overrated pony in the fandom is Rarity? Would you believe me? I mean, you just have to look up how many times she was googled. That for me appeared the number 208 million searches, while Dash has only 43 million and Twilight has only 21.8 million. If I were to guess, I would say that this is because of her beauty, because Rarity is one of the most beautiful ponies of the main 6, if not the most one. Right? No wonder Spike fell in love with her. Not to mention her delicate manner. But then, what makes this popular among the fans? Well, besides she being the element of generosity, for many times she shows herself as an example for her little sister Sweetie Belle, and for the fandom too. Throughout the series, you can notice that Rarity is the one who takes the most mature decisions and is the one who have the most real problems, like her chores and her boutique business. And as many fans of My Little Pony pony are older people, they kinda see themselves in Rarity, feeling empathic towards the pony. And there's more, she shows us that we don't need to downgrade anyone, even being at a fashion scene. You just need to be gentle and emphatic. But what about you? What do you think about this list of overrated and underrated ponies? Do you agree with it? What would you change? Tell me everything in the comments. I will love to read them all, okay? Thank you a lot for watching this video till here, and hasta la vista.